My name's Steven Perales. I was in the Air Force for 10 years, and then I did a year of reserves and got into private military contracting for a couple years before moving back to the States and just kind of trying to do my best at becoming a civilian. I got into the military in my formative years. I signed up when I was 17, and a lot of what I learned and was surrounded by growing up into adulthood was the military. They gear you up for a lot of things that are in the military world, which is a different language from what the average bearer, the civilian, is used to. And so it felt like I had to relearn how to communicate, how to live life, really. I really came to realizing I needed help about 2 years ago. I was having a really rough time dealing with my PTSD issues. And even though I was diagnosed with PTSD back in 2008, I was still active duty. I never really addressed it, not until meeting Ken a couple of years ago. I felt like those were my darkest times dealing with just my PTSD. Then, since he was already there in my life, getting to be able to lean on him during my wife's fight for cancer, I couldn't ask God for anything more than that. I think the biggest change that I've taken and applied to my life is being able to open up with people, really being able to sit and conversate with even a stranger. Sitting and talking with you tonight would have not been on the table for me 2 years ago. And it's something that I used to be able to do very freely. I love talking with people, networking, being a part of somebody's life. But the not dealing with my PTSD issues really got in the way of that. I feel like Ken really helped break the ice for me, and I could really be honest about some things that it opened up such an area for me to bring my walls down. Life definitely looks brighter now. I have to relate to those really old kind of like depression commercials, those depression medication commercials where they're showing like the dark cloud over somebody. It didn't feel like that in the moment, of not having the best days. But after being able to open up to people again, share those things that were on my heart that I was really, hiding with, therapists and the specialists who are trained to deal with those things, the correct people to process those things out with, I could really feel that darkness lifting off of my shoulders, off of my mindsets. It's been impactful in every way from, meeting new people to even to interacting with my kids and with my marriage, other relationships. It's just been very, very blessed and impactful. I think the biggest thing I would say to veterans who don't see a way out or through a journey, and being able to relate with that at certain times, being able to give yourself one more day sometimes is a lot. It's something that I feel like we're definitely worth giving ourselves, is that one more day to push through. It can always get brighter, and it doesn't always feel like that, but it really can. That little bit I was telling you about with being able to open up with people again, I feel like almost every day's gotten brighter. And it's not something I thought in the past was specifically for veterans. When talking to a professional for your issues, whether it be mental, physical, a lot of times you feel like if they haven't walked a mile in your shoes, they're not going to be able to understand. And so a lot of times a veteran wants to see help from, maybe a psychologist that has been in service before, which I know for me personally, that was definitely the truth. It was like, I didn't want to see a specialist if they weren't in the military themselves and were able to understand. I didn't want to open up with any of my issues to someone who was never going to be able to imagine what I had been through. When you have an organization like this put together by people who are familiar with veterans, their son's a veteran, they work with so many veterans, they really specialize in helping veterans. Just knowing them personally, I know where their heart is and what it feels like to be helped by them. And it's been really amazing. It's been an amazing experience.